Hello there. Well, what Keir Starmer has said this week, if any of us had said it last week, would be far right, bigots, Nazis, racists, fascists, xenophobes. And I'm talking about his immigration statement. Now, the United Kingdom is at a crossroads. There's no two ways about it. With increasing pressures on housing, public services, natural resources, social cohesion, there's a growing concern that current policies and planning are not sufficient to address the challenges that are ahead. Now, if these trends persist, which they will, and without meaningful change, the next 5 years or so that he has left in government are going to bring significant difficulties across multiple areas of life for us, particularly in my town, that's already feeling the strain. The UK faces persistent housing crisis, while thousands of new homes are being built, including on previously protected greenbelt land. The supply is still not meeting the needs of the population. And in towns like mine, where rapid development is already underway, new houses often outspaces the infrastructure needed to support it. Public transport, healthcare facilities, the school capacities are struggling to keep up, leading to overcrowding and deteriorating services. Furthermore, the push for new builds frequently prioritises quantity over quality, resulting in estates that might lack proper energy efficiency or community integration. Social housing is particularly under pressure. The numbers of people on waiting lists for council houses continues to rise, and many local authorities are relying increasingly on private landlords and houses of multiple occupation, HMOs. And these are to house vulnerable individuals. If this continues, more people may find themselves in unsuitable, overcrowded or unstable accommodation, increasing the risks of homelessness and indeed poverty. Now, one of the most concerning aspects of unchecked development is the loss of greenbelt land. These areas are vital not only for maintaining biodiversity and natural beauty, but for also managing flood risks and absorbing pollution. The destruction contributes to environmental degradation and will only worsen with climate change. Meanwhile, water stress is already becoming a critical issue. The Environmental Agency has warned that parts of England could run out of water within the next 20 to 25 years unless substantial investments are made. Energy and food are also areas of concern. The UK imports around 40% of its food, and with global supply chains becoming increasingly unstable, this dependence poses a significant risk. At the same time, demand for electricity continues to rise, yet investment in renewable energy and infrastructure is not keeping pace. Without intervention, these strains will lead to higher living costs, increased carbon emissions, and greater reliance on fossil fuels. Healthcare, education and transport are the backbone of functioning society. In the UK, all the three are under pressure, and have been for years. The NHS experiencing record waiting times, staff shortages, increasing patient loads, and as the population continues to grow through natural growth and immigration, the situation more than likely will worsen. Similarly, schools in growing communities are being stretched beyond capacity, leading to larger class sizes and underfunded facilities. Public transport in many regions is already outdated or inadequate. Without significant investment in rail, bus and, dare I say, cycling infrastructure, the rise in population, the housing developments will lead to increased road congestion, longer commutes and higher emissions. This is especially true in suburban areas like my town, where car dependency is high and the public alternatives are limited. One of the most troubling potential outcomes of these pressures is the growth of social division. If residents feel that their communities are being stretched to breaking point through overdevelopment, underfunding services and rising costs, discontent will grow. In this context, migrants and refugees can become scapegoats, even though the root cause of the strain are often the government's policies and underinvestment. If social cohesion continues to fray, it could give rise to more populist politics, increased protests and a sense of a national disillusionment. Economic equality is also likely to worsen. The house prices rise and the cost of living increases. Those on low or fixed incomes, including the elderly, young families and minimum wage workers, will feel less squeeze. Those who already own properties will see their wealth grow, while those renting or trying to buy will fall further behind. The growing gap between rich and poor become even more one of the most defining issues of the decade. Another factor that is often overlooked, not mentioned much, is the impact of technology, particularly artificial intelligence and automation, on the job market. Over the next 5 years, more jobs in sectors like manufacturing, retail, administration and even transport could be replaced or reduced by automation. While new tech-driven jobs will emerge, there may not be enough retraining and support for displaced workers. And especially for older individuals or those in the economically deprived areas. This mismatch between available jobs and available skills could lead to rising unemployment or underemployment, further contributing to economic and social instability. If the government fails to prepare the workforce for this transition, many people will find themselves permanently excluded from the job market. The current policies and development patterns continue without absolute major reform. The UK is likely to face a convergence of crises within this government's lifetime. Housing shortages, environmental degradation, overstretched public services, rising inequality, the disruptive force of AI could form the perfect storm that threatens the quality of life for millions. While migration is often discussed as the root cause of the strain, the deeper issue lies in poor planning, underinvestment and, of course, the short-term thinking. Addressing these challenges require bold action. It requires someone to have a grip on the current situation. Local and national governments must prioritise sustainable, and how many times have we heard that word, sustainable, right? But they must prioritise sustainable development, invest in public infrastructure, protect natural resources and prepare the workforce for a future technological shift. Without these measures, the problems we see today will not only persist, but they're going to get an awful lot worse. In the meantime, take care. Bye now.